A limited time. It'll be limited to about 10 minutes because Ash has doubles over here.
Ash, how valuable was that experience and how enjoyable was it being out there on centre court?
Oh, it's the most beautiful court in the world, isn't it? I think I promised myself when I walked out there that I'd smile and try and take it all in. It had changed a little bit since I played on there with Casey a few years ago now, but a beautiful court and very lucky to be able to play on it.
And in terms of experience going forward, for maybe down the road?
Yeah, I mean, any time you can play on a court, you get a taste of what the conditions are like, but they can change day to day. So I think, having played on that court now, I know what it's like, but it's not too dissimilar to what I expected from a pace of court and things like that. But obviously the surroundings are a little bit different. But now having a taste of that, it's nice to know what it's like.
Ash, you're playing matches very quick here. Is that sort of like the matches you like to play, and that'll help you in the second week if they do go that quick? Or do you need to be a bit more patient in the second week?
It's always nice to have quick matches, and I think it's nice to know that I can go in and execute and get my job done. But in saying that as well, a lot of my matches haven't been as easy as the scoreline suggests. I think there have been some really tricky moments. Today at 4-1, that was a really important game, I think, and it was really nice to be able to get out of that and play some good tennis to get out of that game.
I think, I'm not sure about an overhead winner, but you hit winners throughout this match. I think with every possible shot you could have forehand, backhand, draw up, serve. Because you've got all the shots, is there one that you think is your best? And do you have a favourite that you like to hit?
I love to hit my slice. Over and over I say that. I think that's the shot for me that I can control the match. I can control the tempo when I use that shot. I can use it in different ways, either offensively or defensively. And I think when I'm really clear and I'm sharp and able to use that shot how I want to, I feel like I'm in control of most matches.
Ash, obviously you come full circle since you played Risk in Birmingham, Eastbourne, in your comeback sort of tournament. What are your memories from that match, apart from potentially being probably a little bit tired?
It was a long time ago now, and I think I remember that match vividly. It was whenever Alison's back was against the wall, she produced her best tennis, and I think that's no secret. You ask any opponent that plays Alison, she's up for the fight and makes you work for every single point. So I think it will be really important for me to go out there and try and bring my variety and take my opportunities when I get them, and also know that she loves playing on a grass court. She's going to make me play a million balls, and I'll have to be at my best.
Harriet's second serve is particularly a little bit slower maybe than what you're used to facing. What's that like? I suppose it's very different to maybe what you're used to coming up against, and is it a bit different psychologically when you're coming up against that?
Every single serve on the tour is different. Harriet's isn't. It's a unique serve. Everyone has a unique serve and a unique game. So it's not that it's slower or faster. That doesn't really matter for me. It's more about trying to handle her game in a whole, and then trying to assert myself when I could. And I felt like I was able to do that from the get-go today, a lot on my service games as well as hers.
Ash, forgive me if you've been asked this. How was that feeling when you walked onto centre court for the first time as a singles player, and they just had the presentation with all those incredible sports people before you? Tell me about that moment for you.
Yeah, it was incredible walking out there. I didn't see any of the presentation. We were warming up down underneath, but a really special moment walking out onto court. One of the best tennis courts in the world, and privileged to be able to play on it.
It's a short time since you won your first major, attained the #1 ranking, but how would you compare the hunger to get to those stages with the hunger to sustain that?
It's exactly the same. No matter whether I win a match or lose a match, I'm still extremely hungry and driven to try and do well, to try and grow and develop as a player and a person, and trying to take as much as I can from every single match and learn from every single match, and then keep going forward and keep striving to be better.
From some of the great champions that you've seen show that hunger, what have you learned?
Oh, I think there have been so many different champions across our sport. Some have been extremely successful in smaller periods and others have had longevity. And I think everyone's unique. Everyone has a different journey. I'm just trying to do the best to pave my own path and enjoy my journey.
In the French Open, I think you said that playing tennis is kind of like a puzzle, solving a puzzle for you, because you have many different shots, but the toughest thing is what kind of shot you have to hit. So how did you find that? How did you figure out that when you figure out what kind of shots, how you make the tennis points?
Yeah, I think for me, sometimes I look at a shot, I play a shot, and then I think, the seaweed's always greener in someone else's lake, and I try and, think of how else I could win the point. But really, I just need to go about it and be really simple, make up my mind, pick my spot, hit it, and try and bring a very simple mindset and have this real clarity around how I want to play, but also knowing that I have the ability to adapt and play a different shot if I need to.
You spent time in the WBBL. What did you learn the most from that, and how much influence did that have when you rose to number one?
I think it's really hard to say what I learnt from cricket that directly correlates with tennis, but I think one of the most special things that I experienced in cricket was the people that I met and the friendships that I created with a different set of friends, and athletes from a different sport. And I still am in contact with those girls now, and I think it's given me a really nice perspective about how other athletes go about their business, how they train, how they prepare. And now I've come back to tennis and in my sport, and I feel like I've got my balance right, and I've got my mix right. And I have a great team around me now that I enjoy spending time with.
We've got time for 2 more questions, one here and one here.
It felt to me like you were growing in power and confidence throughout that match. Did you feel yourself at the start you were trying to find your range and power, and then did it suddenly click at some point?
I think I got better as the match went on, which was really pleasing, and I think it was really important for me to get out of that 4-1 game from Love 40, and I think in that stretch of 7 or 8 points after that, I played some of my best tennis, and I was, in control of those points. And I think the best thing is that I didn't let up the whole match. I kept the foot down, and I was able to stay in control of most games, particularly early on in games and getting those first couple of points.
Last question.
Ash, are you starting to? I'm sure you'll give this athlete's answer of just focus on the next game ahead, but potentially a quarter-final match against Serena Williams, which would be pretty special here in Wimbledon, wouldn't it?
I will give the athlete's answer and say I'm just going to worry about Alison first.
Great.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.